Hi guys, welcome to the video number 594 and another attempt to educate you about the web scraping, how to control the websites using the Excel VBA. So my name is Ajay Pramar and you're watching youtube.com/c/Ajay Kumar Pramar, and today what we are going to do, let's go and check that. Now as usual guys, I'm going to use my website for this. Okay, now so that how I can use these search boxes. Now this search box is very common. You find this search box in almost every website, and what this search box does is you can simply go and type in something and you can find out the relevant material according to the website. Right now, for example, if I just go and write here access, and I click here, this website should show me the content related to the access, isn't it? That's how it is, right? And as you can see here, this is taking me to some the access related stuff. Well, you won't find much things on my website because I'm yet to start this website. I have remodified it, and the only thing which you can do is, if you want to buy the courses, you can go and you can buy the courses, whether you are in India or you are an international student. You can go and simply use this, and I'm gonna start my blogging pretty soon. However, you can go and check out the training material. Anyways, that's something else. What I wanted to tell you is that in this video, in this lecture, we're going to talk about this particular thing, how you can type in something and then you can use on this search button. Right now, I go and open the first of all the Excel. So guys, we are on the Excel and I'm going to hit the Visual Basic. Before I do that, I want to actually tell you the main details, how basically we connect the websites using the Excel VBA, right? Any website, I mean to say. Right now, I'm again repeating, though I have said this in my previous videos also. You see that when you want to learn something, especially in the programming, I will be talking about the VBA. So you got to know the classes of that, the language. Classes are what? It's a kind of a place where the objects are defined. Now you would ask me that what is the object. Well, the object is nothing. It's basically something which you're dealing with. You can lively work with that particular thing. Right now, for example, in Excel, when we talk about the Excel VBA, we have the worksheets, we have the workbooks, we have the cells, we have the charts, we have the pivots, we have these ribbons, we have the user forms. Well, there are n number of things. So these are all treated as objects and they are defined somewhere. They are defined by the Microsoft, and that place is called the class. So it's a kind of, you can say that the it's a roadmap, for example, which is in this particular session, as we are going to connect with the website. Right now, website is not a matter. The point is where this website actually is visible. So how you open the website? Obviously through your Internet Explorer, maybe through Google, Firefox, Mozilla, right? So you have a platform where you go and type in something, right? So in this case, we are going to talk about the Internet Explorer, right? So I'm actually referring to the Explorer. So now to connect with that Explorer, you need to have a little bit knowledge of you can say that the classes which we are going to use to connect the Excel with the Internet Explorer, right? Now here you have the Excel, and here your this Internet Explorer is waiting, right? So what do? You tell the Excel, actually Excel VBA, right? You tell the Excel VBA that I want to use this Internet Explorer. I want to go here. So please give me the road map, right? Give me the road map and I want to connect to this thing. Then what is that road map? So in that case, when you have to connect with the Internet Explorer, we go and use a library which is called Internet Controls, right? Internet Controls. You can see that library in the Visual Basic, and when you go and click on the tool reference, here we have that library activated. Well, you would see here that I'm already using this Microsoft Internet Control, right? Because this is my old file actually, and so you see this activated, but in your case this library will not be activated. So you have to make sure that this library should be activated. Okay, now this makes sure that I'm going to actually connect with my Explorer, which is the Internet Explorer, right? That's the first thing. Now guys, when you have launched the Internet Explorer, the next thing would be to go in that website, right? So we will go in the website, but once the website comes into action, once the page gets loaded, how will you go inside this? There has to be some mechanism. Again, there has to be some roadmap, right? First you open the Internet Explorer, then you tell your Excel VBA that browse on this Internet Explorer this website. Once the website gets loaded, now what? Now then you go and you basically check that what are the elements which are defined in this entire page. This page is called the document, HTML document, right? So the next library which we go and use is, in this particular example, that's going to be your HTML document library. This is how you use it. Okay, so if I go to the Visual Basic, I go and click on the tool in the reference, and you see here that I have actually got my one library activated, which is this Microsoft HTML object library. Why HTML object library, guys? Well, if you know the web designing, or maybe if you don't know, but I'm sure all of you who are watching this video, if you are a programmer or if you are trying to be a programmer, HTML is something, I mean, we have heard a lot of, about this word, hypertext markup language. Basically, this is a kind of, markup language, you can say. It's a language actually which you use, to make the web pages, right? So anyways, we will not really get into the details. You don't really need to be an expert in the HTML, right? But you should have a basic understanding of the HTML. So to use this, because I have to go inside this website, so if I have to go inside this website, which means that I have to go in this box and I have to then see that what is this search button, what is the name of this button, then I will go and use this document. And that is a reason I'm going to use this HTML library, HTML, or you can say HTML document. Well, let's keep like this, HTML. Okay, so let's quickly go and do these things, because once you have the HTML library coming into the picture, then in the HTML, that document, you can go and define your elements. You can search your elements. These all are called the elements, guys. These are all the different the links or the text boxes or whatever it is, these are all called the elements which are a part of this document. So the hierarchy is, first you go and work with the Internet Explorer, then in the Internet Explorer you launch the website. In the website, this is called the document, and in this document we have further n number of elements which we have to find it out according to what we want, right? So let's quickly go and do this thing. So as if you have seen my previous videos, then you know that the first thing which we will be doing here is, so let me just go and insert a new module over here. Okay, so the first thing which I will go and write is the macro name. So I say that click on search button, right? Now guys, first let's go and use the Internet Explorer. Let's launch the Internet Explorer. Okay, so I'm gonna write here dim I as, and then this is how you write. So which library I'm going to use over here? So I'm going to use this one, SHDOC VW, and then I'm going to write here Internet Explorer. Right now you see that, as I was telling you about the classes, this is basically a class. So when you go to the object browser and you just go and click over here, you find these two libraries, MS HTML and SHDOC. Now remember one thing, these libraries are not going to be visible here if you do not activate those things, these libraries in the tool in the reference, right? So if I go and let's say click on this, this one, let's say SHDOC VW. Now when I select that, now look at this, what it says. These are all the classes which you can use with this SHDOC VW library, and one of that is Internet Explorer. If I just go and press I show you here. Yeah, that's the one, right? So Internet Explorer, we're going to use this, right? It's a class which has members further. So as I said, that class is nothing, it's basically a blueprint of the object. every object has a specific class and it's defined there. And when we say define, it means that basically these are all the members which you can use when you say dot, right? Now when I said application dot, if you remember in my VBA I used application. Why it is coming there? Because it's a member of Internet Explorer as per the Microsoft, right? So that's why I'm using this. So now the next thing which I will do is I'll simply say that, you know, let's just go and use this Internet Explorer, right? So we just go and make this visible, right? This we have already seen before, so I'm going to make this all the visible things, and then we will quickly go and navigate it. That's how we write it, navigate. Now if you're thinking that I'm going a little fast, it's not that. I have already explained these things in my previous videos. So we just go and type in the address. So I'll go and say that excelvbalover.com, I want to find it out, right? And then you can say that till the time this website does not get loaded, keep this browser busy, keep this code busy. It should not go to the next line. So we can say here that do while your internet ready state is not equals to complete, right? So till the time this is not going to be loaded, because you know every web page takes little time, right, depending upon your internet speed, right? So till the time this is not going to be completed, when this website makes, you know, is going to be published on this Internet Explorer, this loop will keep on running, right? Now here comes the important part. Now once this website is ready, guys, then what is the next thing you want to do, right? So the next thing which I want to do is, obviously I want to go and work with this document, right, of this website. So you go and say that document IDOC as. So we are going to now use the another class. You remember the library which I was talking about, class, library, whatever you want to call it. This is the one, the HTML one. So how we go and write it down, I showed in the object browser also. Just in case if you forget, you can just quickly go and click over here and you can find out that this is the one, MSHTML, right? These two libraries, SHDOCVW and MSHTML, these libraries would come there once you go in the tools and the reference, you know. So I'm going to use this now HTML, because I want to use the HTML document. I want to manipulate that, I want to control that. So I'm just going to say that MS HTML, and then we're going to write here document. Okay, so I'm just simply going to write here HTML document. So this is how it is, my document, and then you go and define this as a document. So you go and write here my Internet Explorer, which is your I, and it's going to be document, right? So I'm using the HTML document. That way what will happen, now you can refer to your iDoc. You can refer to this iDoc as the document of my website, right? Now once you are done with this, now the next thing which is very important, now here comes the real action. Now you got to know that, you know, these all the different controls. For example, now this looks like a text box, right? As a programmer, as an Excel VBA programmer, I will call it as a, you know, text box, but you got to find it out what exactly it is. So as I said in the last video also, you click on that and just, you know, right click actually over there and click on the inspect. Now when you click on the inspect, what happens, you will be, you know, this is basically a programming window, how this entire thing is designed. You cannot do any modifications here, but this will show you, you know, how this is programmed. So here these are the bunch of all the HTML doc, you know, the codes which are written like you write in the Excel VBA, same way to make the web pages, guys. This is what they use, right? So now the highlighted line is the one which we want to target. Now if you look at this, closely, this actually is my input tag. Now you would be asking me that what is the input tag, right? I explained this in the previous video also. Input tag is basically when you go and, so let me you know, try to explain you this from the Excel VBA perspective. So when you go and write the user forms, you create the user forms, you create the text boxes, right? You create the text boxes, you draw the labels there, you draw the other things like command buttons, combo boxes and all that stuff. Same way, this input box is a part of basically forms. You can see here they have started this the form and they are closing the form. This slash basically means close tag. It is getting closed. Now simple HTML can be written in the notepad also. Let me show you. So I go and open my notepad over here. Okay, so there are different softwares where you can go and write this HTML, but the notepad is something which is available to everyone. Right now, to start the HTML code, this is mandatory. You go and write here, you know, like this. This is the HTML, and then close that HTML. Closing means it will be followed by the backslash. So I go and write here like this. Now this is exactly like sub and end sub in the Excel VBA. So it starts the code and then it is going to be stopped here, right? Now what I do is I simply go and show you this input tag. So I go and write here input tag like this, right? Now this is a HTML. This is how you write it, right? Now I'm not going to write anything over here. I simply go and, you know, save this. Okay, now I'm going to save this, but this is not going to be the txt file. I will give it an extension called HTML. So I go and write here, let's say ajay.html. Right guys, so I go and save this on my desktop. I save this code. Okay, I keep this notepad as it is open, and now I go in my, you know, this desktop, and I go and find it out that where is basically my that document, right? So I just go and check that. So you can see here, this is the because I'm using the Google Chrome, so this is how it is looking like, a, you know, the Chrome icon. So let me just go and double click on this. Okay, sorry, I just go and put the folder over here. It's overlapping. I double click on this. Now look at this, what's gonna happen. Can you see that? This is very interesting, right? I can write here my name as well. Now this is something you can say that it's a kind of the form which is built on the web. This is not the Excel VBA. You know that, right? So that's how, this is what exactly is the input. You know, you take the input from here, right? So this is what they have done here when they made my website, right? So so if I just take you back to that, this is the one, right? This is the one, yeah. Input type, right? Now guys, input, so why I'm explaining all this thing? Because, you know, through these things you will be able to understand the web scraping. Now input is basically a tag. We call them tag. There are different types of the tags. There is a div tag, there is an input tag, and there is a button tag. There are a lot of things, like look at this button tag is also there, right? Every tag has a different purpose. There is a tag as well. In the a tag I talked about in my previous video. So now what happens, what you need to do, you need to basically find out that how this input actually is defined. So most of the time you find here a name, you know, the name is given to this, and the class is also given to here. So if the name is there, you can use that name also. Name means that this is basically a kind of a identifier which is given to this input tag, right, which has a type called text, and that is a reason that, you know, you are able to use this website. If I just close this, and this is the reason that this is acting like a text box. Text, right, because it has that type, right? So now what we need to do is, you need to tell your Excel VBA that there is a tag here which has a name called input, and in that input tag, that input tag has a name, and the name of that tag is A. If you look at this, sorry, S, this is S actually. If I just go a little down over here, right, this is the name. So you have to pick up these things. Okay, so now when I say that the name S is available in this input tag, you got to just then say that, so input tag having a name S is equals to whatever you want to say. So then what will happen, your name will go there, whatever you're trying to write. Okay, so let's go and do that. Now how you are going to write that, this is important. Okay, so now guys, why you have created this document, because I told you that this is the document. This is the document which has so many elements inside it, and the tags are one of those elements. You can say that, right? So I say that now I want to go in my this document. So what is the document? I press dot and I go and write here items. Okay, then you got to write the name of that get item. Me the element. Okay. You remember that we have given the name by the tag. What was the name over there? Which tag? I haven't given the name. It is an input tag, so you're gonna write my web developer who made this website. They given the name called in the input tag. So you go and write in the input tag value equals to fill. So let's say we want to find out here. Let's say anything. I mean, you can say that. All right. So let's say I want to write here VBA training. Right, this is what I want to do. So you're getting the point, what this line means. you are saying that go in the document. Now what is a document? Obviously, if you remember the hierarchy, first you have the Internet Explorer and then you have this HTML document. So when you say document, your document is already defined. What is your document? Your document is i.document. What is I? I is your nothing, it's a Internet Explorer. So you are saying that in the Internet Explorer, the document which I have, I want to go inside that, and there is a tag over there called import, which you remember I showed you there, right? In that import, now there is a name given there, which I got it, when I right clicked and I said go to the inspect element. So that's the name over there, and that's why I'm going to use it here, right? So now when I go and run this entire code, guys, let's go and check that what's gonna happen, right? Interesting. So I go and I've reset the code. I'm going to run this code again. So I go and let me just go and minimize everything. So this is your simple window, okay? And I quickly go and just put the breakcode over here, and let me hit on the F5. So the website is coming, and so you can see that the website is not maximizing. So as usual, we are going to use the API. Okay, I'll just go and paste that API, and you can go and check that API from my other the videos, the web scraping videos. Okay, I have pasted the API details in the comment section there. Okay, now this is your website. Let me just go and maximize this. Now right now the website is launched and I don't see any problem, and this is also coming as a blank. So let's do now one thing, guys. I'm going to run this code right away in front of you, okay? And let's see that if we will be able to find this VBA training over here or not. So I simply go and click on this, F5. Let's go and click on the F5. Oh wow, beautiful. Can you see that the VBA training is coming there? So finally, now today you know that how to add the things in any of the controls. Now the next thing which we want to do is how to hit on this button, because we want to search it, right? So now let's go to the last topic of this the video. So I go and click over here. Let me just go and close this, and I go back to my this Google Chrome again. I launch my website, and we will go and right click on the, so now I'm on my website, guys. I right click on this and I say inspect, because I want to find it out that how this is actually created, right? Which tag is it, right? It's all about knowing the tags. Now this is something which is highlighted to me, as you can see here, right? Now if I look at this, this one, this I is basically to make this italic to my best knowledge, but I don't give the 100% guarantee on that, because I'm not an HTML expert, right? But anyways, what I need to see here is that if you look at this, this is the button type which says submit. So when I click on that button, that's basically has a type called submit, and the class is called the search icon. Now class, basically you don't really have to get into it, right, unless you want to be a web developer. Class basically it's a kind of, you can say that like suppose in your Excel you have a paintbrush. So in the paintbrush, what happens, for example, I have here written something, and I go and do some formatting over here. Let's say I go and give this this yellow color, and I go and change the font of this. So I go and give some font, let's say this one, right, and blah blah blah. Now what happens if you have to do all this same formatting in some another cell? The shortcut is you select this cell and just click on the format painter, and you go and click there. Like for example, if I click over here, what happens? The same effect applies there. So the classes are sort of that. Whenever you want to do the same stuff, not really actually in the sense of the coloring, but there are n number of things, bordering and the placement, how you put the objects, how you put all these the things like search box and whatever. I mean, it's coming, it's in the middle, left, right. So what they do is they create these classes so that if this class I'm going to use somewhere else, then that will also have the same effect to shorten your work, right, to reduce your work. So that's why they define it. But anyways, now we know that basically this is the class called the search icon. Okay, I just go and copy this, and it is falling under the button tag. So this time it is not the input tag, guys, it is a button tag. So now what we are supposed to do in this case, so now I will do one thing. Let me just close this, and let's come back to the Excel VBA. Now you see that I'm just going to paste that in the name. Remember, this is the class name found is search icon. So I just go and write it so that I should not forget that. Now the point is I have to tell my Excel VBA that you please go and check all the tags which starts with the button, and whichever button tag has this class called search hyphen icon, just go and click on that particular element. So we are trying to find out the elements under the button tag, and this is your button tag basically, right? This is, again, you can go and create in your this HTML. For example, if let me just open this, the same one. Okay, now I see that, let's say button, and then I close this. So this is how you close, let's say backslash. This is the closing of the tag. I go and use this, I save this, and now I go and open this Ajay again. So I double click on this ajay.html. Now let's see what's gonna happen. Look at this, guys. There is a button created here. I can click on that, right? So that's how basically they have created for my website, right? This button basically is coming from there. Okay, so now you understand the difference. So now in order to find out which, because there is going to be n number of buttons over there, right? I do not know, they can be 2 buttons, 3 buttons, maybe single button, we don't know about that, right? So what we will do is we will tell the VBA that we are interested in finding out all the elements inside that button. So we will go and say that then I element, or you can write a doc element ele. I just go and give it a name called ele as, then you're going to use the same class HTML, and then we're going to write here HTML, define this as HTML and then element, right? Now this way what happens, you are basically telling that this your document, let me put the underscore here, this is going to be known as the element. Now this element can be anything inside that, right? So the next thing which we want to do is we go and say that now there is a, I'm going to use the doc underscore ELES elements, right, for the plural. Again the same class I will use, but this time what I will do, I will say that HTML and then element collection. Okay, now in this, so we are basically using the collection loop, guys. Okay, you know the collection loop, when you want to work with the different objects but they belong to the same category, right? So here I define my this element, because I want to tell that you are going to deal with which tag. Is it the A tag, is it the div tag, is it the input tag, is it the button tag, so we will say that my document, which is idoc dot get element by tag name. So here you're going to write here that button, right? If you have seen the previous videos, there we use the A tag, right? So it depends basically in your document what sort of tag is used, right? So now what will happen, once I'm declared all these things, I will say that for every element and in the tag called button, find out where is my element, which has a class name called search hyphen icon. So we will write here for each, and then we're going to write here my document element in doc elements. If you know the collection loops in VBA, the inbuilt collection loops, not when you connect the Internet Explorer, then you know what I'm talking about, right? So collection loops are very important. They can really work on these complicated situations pretty well. So I say that for every document element, for every element which is a part of this one, and this is your button tag, right? You have defined here this one. So find out all the elements, and if my that element, if my that element has a class name called this one, search icon. If you remember, let me just go and copy this. So if that is a thing, then what do you need to do? Well, in that case, you need to do simply one thing, that you just go and click on that element. So I go and say that click on it. This is how I go and write it. And then after clicking, just simply exit, because I'm not here to do anything. I just want to click and that's it. End if. This is how it is, guys. Right? So this will loop through all the things, right? So I just go and put the break code here, because if the class name is going to be found as search icon, it should definitely go in this then area. So let's go and wait for that, right? So I go and quickly close this as well, right? And now before I do that, before I run this, let's do one thing. If you have seen my previous video, let's go and copy this the API. This is what I'm going to copy it, right? You can go and take this from my previous videos on the web scraping. This is just going to make the your web page maximize, right? So this is the API. You can note it from here, or maybe you can just go and see my comment section in the previous videos and use this, right? This I got it from Google, that's it. So one more line you want to add it here, because you want to use this, this is the one, so you want to maximize it. So I just go and put it here. Once I navigate the website, I will make it maximized, right? So this is your API name, which is API esize, and then you are saying that my internet handler should be sw_maximize, which means 3. So you can also write here 3, that's okay. You can write 3 as well, because you have declared the constant as 3, right? This is just a variable, right? Okay, so now when I run this program, let's go and check that. So I go and I have already put the breakcode here, so let's go and click on this, guys. So the website should pop up, it should be maximized. You can see here in front of now, my website is maximized. Wonderful. That's the use of the API. Okay, so let it take some time, it's going to upload, and now keep your eyes on the search button. It should right there whatever we have written in the VBA code. I'm talking about this, but right now I think the page is loading, so let the page be loaded. It's still processing, you can see here, and that's why we have written that condition that do event, keep the till the time Internet Explorer is not uploaded, keep it busy. And there we go, you can see here, guys, I got my VBA training written. Now let's go to this Visual Basic. Now here you can see I am in the then mode. Now if I'm in the then mode, what does that mean? Obviously that means this element, my VBA is able to find it out. You can see here, so the element which I wanted to find it out, which has a class name called search icon, under the button tag is found. Now let's go and hit on this, let's click on this. Oops, my battery is also going off. So let's go and press F8 quickly and let me show you. There we go. So you can see here something is happening in the background and the macro finishes, and I think it has worked for us. So let's go and check that. Look at this. This is showing me something called VBA training. Isn't it fantastic, guys? This is fantastic. So you are actually able to click on this, right? So I quickly go and one more time I'm just going to run this. So this time what I do is I go and put here, let's say something called maybe I just go and put here demo. Okay, and let's quickly hit on the F5 and let's see that this time we will have something coming over here or not before my battery goes off, right? So the page is gonna be loaded, and now the page is still loading. It's taking time. My internet, I think today is a little weak. So yeah, so the page is loaded, demo is written, and now I should have, oh, there we go. Can you see that? It's clicking, guys. It's actually clicking, and now you can see that I got my demo video. So whatever, wherever it finds something related to the demo, it's coming here. Now this is fantastic. This is what I wanted to show you. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and this is the code in front of you, and anything you didn't understand, let me know about it, and I just go and put some. So this is your code, okay, view. So this is how you can go and write it down. This is the first code, and then you simply go and pause the video and then note it down this as well. This is your for each loop. Alright, guys, so subscribe to the channel, share the channel, and there are a number of videos. I want you to watch all the videos. Be perfect in Excel, VBA, Access VBA, and very soon we are going to start the VB.NET as well. So thumbs up to all of you who have watched this video, and I'm sure this video would have taken this knowledge to the new heights. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.